Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea from Chris Perry's inclusive classroom framework, one that can literally change the entire feeling of a classroom. We're talking about becoming the classroom thermostat.
You've probably heard this saying before, right? It's a common one in education, and for good reason. It gets right to the heart of a fundamental choice we make every single day. Are we just going to reflect the energy that's already in the room, or are we going to be the ones to set it? That's the core idea we're going to unpack.
So, let's break this down. What's the real difference here? Well, being the temperature is totally reactive. You walk into a room, it's chaotic, and you let that chaos become your mood. Being the thermostat, though, that's proactive. That means you decide beforehand what the emotional tone is going to be, creating an environment that's stable and, most importantly, predictable. Okay, so how do we actually do that? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to look at the science behind it, what consistency really means, and some simple steps you can take to put it into practice.
Think of it like this. When you know the weather forecast is sunny, you know to wear sunglasses, right? It's kind of the same idea in the classroom. When a teacher acts as that thermostat, students know how to dress emotionally to be successful. They know what to expect from you, and that consistency allows them to regulate their own behavior to meet that stable baseline you've created.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good, fluffy concept. No way. This practice is actually deeply rooted in educational psychology. So let's get into the science of it, because a teacher's stability has a huge, measurable impact on students.
So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it comes down to a really cool concept called co-regulation. Basically, research shows that how well a teacher manages their own emotions has a direct effect on their students' emotions. And this makes total sense, right? We're all kind of hardwired to mirror the energy of the people around us. Think about the vibe at a great concert or the tension in a dead silent library. The classroom is exactly the same.
And when a teacher really nails this thermostat thing, the benefits are huge. That consistency builds this foundation of fairness and predictability, which is the bedrock of trust. You're not just telling them how to act, you're actively modeling emotional regulation for them. And the bottom line is, when students feel secure and safe, they can stop worrying about the classroom climate and actually free up their brains to engage and to learn.
Okay, so we know it's important, but this is where a big misconception usually pops up. Does this mean you have to act a certain way? Do you have to adopt some kind of teacher personality that isn't really you?
Let's just put it out there. To be a good thermostat, do you have to be the funny, energetic teacher? The super strict, no-nonsense one? The warm and bubbly one? Is there one right way to be?
The answer? A big, clear no. The research is incredibly clear on this. The goal isn't to be a certain type of person. The goal is to be a predictable person. Stability is what matters most. It's about your students knowing, with confidence, which version of you is going to walk through that door every single day. And Chris Perry just nails it in his framework. He says that what benefits students the most is that they can count on you, that they can guess pretty accurately how you're going to respond. That's the whole game right there. That predictability is what creates genuine psychological safety.
And here's maybe the best part. This isn't just for the students. This is a total win-win. For us teachers, emotional stability is a major protective factor against burnout. Research actually shows that the more emotionally stable you are, the less likely you are to burn out. So creating a stable environment isn't about sacrificing yourself. It's about building a sustainable, healthy system for everyone in that room.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. Let's shift gears and talk about the how. How do you actually become the thermostat? Well, it all boils down to a pretty simple 3-step cycle of self-reflection.
And this isn't a one-and-done checklist, It's an ongoing practice. First, you just consider your typical demeanor. What are your go-to responses and how do they land with your students? Then, you intentionally model that consistent presence you're aiming for. And finally, you reflect on a regular basis. You check in with yourself, see what's working, and find areas to grow. It's this simple, powerful loop that really builds that stable environment.
So, let's bring it all the way back to that one core idea. Being the thermostat is a choice you make every day. It's the conscious decision to proactively set the emotional climate, creating a space where everyone, and that includes you, can really thrive.
And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. This isn't about being perfect overnight. It's about taking small, intentional steps. So as you head back into your week, what's just one thing you can do, just one, to set a more consistent and predictable tone in your classroom?